Alright, let's do the frame by frame for Age of Empires 4. There's a dude going there. It's bridges. It doesn't seem constructed, it seems part of the map. That looks like an outpost, not a tower. It could be a tower, however. Maybe you upgrade from outpost to tower.
Yeah, it does look like an outpost. It's all the different types of walls you'd expect.
Okay, definitely people on walls. I'm not sure there's space for a siege weapon on that.
Certon mentioned that and was worried.
I'll have to read the meta place
everyone's
chat.
saying it looks like Stronghold as well.
Yeah, and there's definitely people inside of the farming area where, okay, that's like a square farm over there, and there's a villager in there, and it's very hard to see because of the vegetation in there being so tall. So, I'm certainly not a fan of that. Art style wise, it is not hyper realistic, but it's okay. Like I can tell apart what is what.
There's a guy, one of the Immortal devs, made a good point in the RTS game that was Discord, where he was saying that it's really hard. It's harder when you make photorealistic games to have like good levels of readability with like teams and stuff.
Dude, the buildings are huge. Look at the castle next to the villager.
The little tiny worker. That's definitely cutscene stuff, man. I don't think that'll be real for game. That's kind of crazy.
You think? It looks real gameplay to me.
Yeah, but I think the sizes will change.
Okay, there's pikes or halberds. I can't quite tell. Halberds, and there were cav. That's a monk over there. What's this building? It's got a bell. It's gonna be a town center. That's gonna be a town center. What else would you ring the bell with? That's gonna be a market over here. Or it's just props, who knows. This looks like an archery range, this building. Obviously castle in the background. I wonder how you make the walls. That looks like the gates you place in AoE 2. Because it doesn't look continuously the same, but maybe you have the convert feature from Age of Empires 3 and Mythology. So, I guess we'll see. What else can we tell here? What is that? Is that a... That must be a prop. That's some towers over here. Or is this one building? I can't tell. So the buildings have a lot of like disconnected pieces, and I wonder what is up with all the roads, because this has got to be... Are these pre-placed?
Like, I'm gonna assume that the roads and all that are just because, again, it's a trailer. They're trying to make it look fancy. Okay. So they put all the roads and make it look nice. I don't think they'll have roads for gameplay, but it could be cool if you could put down roads like in Empire's Earth or something.
Alright. Wait, whoa. That was a very quick transition. They certainly make it very hard to tell what's happening. There's crossbows. There's definitely crossbows. And those were some men-at-arms, I think, or whatever they call it in Age of Empires 2. Yeah, they have these axes. Longbows on the walls. Cav with a pike. So that's gonna be probably some light cav. Mill. That means that they have drop-off buildings still, and those look like houses, so they have population systems. But what are those very different looking houses? Are these two cultures?
The ones with the thatched roofs?
These are the English, so like they said there's English and Mongols, right? So these gotta be the English, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rhonda, do you recognize any of the buildings?
Do you know what I would assume? For the fact that there's the thatched ones and the more sort of bricked roofs, I would assume that they're models from the same models but from different ages, and that they're just using both of them just for aesthetics in the
Oh,
trailer.
yeah, early houses. I see. Or upgraded houses, like Chenla said. Okay,
Yeah.
that's 3 distinct cavalry people for the Mongols up here. And there's the cavalry guy on the right looks the same as the mass cavalry in this shot. What are the other two then? Are they?
I'm going to assume that the one on the right is like a bow one. The one on the left is like your sword shield dude, and then the one in the middle is like a hero or something.
Right.
So I don't think you see any more of the ones the white horse.
Yeah, these are the same cavalry guys. That one's the same cavalry guy. There's a lot of the same unit here. Their swordsmen
That's very AoE.
are very AoE, yeah. Like this is fine, you know. The unit roster seems okay to me. And they have a siege tower. I wonder whether you get on top of the wall with that, like in Total War.
Oh,
That you have
that's
to
cool.
garrison inside of that and then get up or something like that. Who knows? What's that in the background though? Is that... Dude. I'm thinking Empires Apart.
Yeah.
What are
the
those
graphics
cards?
looks like Empires Apart.
Are those unpacking or...
Oh, I see. Right in the background.
Yeah. Let me go back there. God damn it. The shot transition is so quick. That's the best we're gonna get. Is that a... That can't be a siege weapon. Could it be a... The right one could be a ram, but what the heck is that? Alright, there's a lot going on in this image. This has got to be some blacksmith thing, or this one. Could there be... They look completely different. That's not an upgrade difference there. No way. They look from the same age. They're made with bricks. Could there be 2 different tech structures for your army upgrades?
Yeah. Could be like Age of Mythology's houses.
No, not the houses.
Different,
The blacksmith building, and then this other thing. Because that's pretty obviously a blacksmith,
Maybe
I
a
think.
fabric.
Fabric. And what does that upgrade then? It's gotta be some kind of upgrade structure, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
What's this?
I like the big old bell they have.
Is there anything else going on in this image? Probably not. The tents must be props, surely.
I'd
Unless...
assume so, yeah. They look like campaign drops to me.
Nothing's happening to them, so... Okay, the Mongols have trebuchets. And, oh, look at that! Look at that! There's some static defense spikes in front of the archers.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that's something you can build. Yeah, it looks very Total War in this shot, except the unit cohesion is obviously... it's definitely one unit at a time, but they seem to assume some formation together. But this is very Total War-esque. You defend your walls. I wonder how strong the walls are. Hey, let's go back to the forest.
People talking
sorry.
about the asymmetry, like how asymmetrical the factions will be. What do you think about that from seeing this? Because it could be, but
Like, these two
I
look
don't see
super
anything that-
different.
they look super different, but
Yeah,
they could just be models.
they could just be
like,
models.
for the same sort of swordsman cavalry thing, especially since the Mongols have trebuchets. Like, I'd imagine.
Surely the English have trebuchets.
Yeah, but like, I'd imagine if
we-
you were gonna have them be asymmetrical, they wouldn't both have trebuchets, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
They wouldn't both have. Also, yeah.
I mean, the English have English longbows, which we're not seeing on the Mongol side. In fact, we're not seeing any archer on the Mongol side whatsoever.
That is true.
I'd expect a horse archer.
Yeah.
That's just very. Let's talk about the forest. Look how thin it is. What's going on with that? That's not for cutting wood.
Yeah.
If you went there to cut wood, that would be a
That would
pretty
suck.
idiotic move. Yeah. You're definitely not gonna cut wood there. God damn it! The siege tower is still not touching the wall. We don't know its function. Is it actually like a ram that's very tall, or is it something that you mount the wall
Like the
with?
siege towers in aren't the siege towers in AOM that they like shoot arrows?
Yeah, shoot arrows and ram the wall.
Yeah, I think they are probably shoot
Yeah, they
arrows.
could be, or they could actually be a ladder to the wall rather, like in Total War. Oi, oi, destruction. The buildings fall apart nicely, like in the definitive edition.
The tower.
Yeah, so you can destroy the pieces of the wall like that and create a huge gap. It didn't create a gap at all. Look at this. They destroyed the tower piece on the wall. What's that called? Bastion. They destroyed the bastion, and the wall is still in one piece beneath it.
Yeah.
That seems not good. Surely you gotta break a wall in this way.
Should make a gap.
Yeah. Otherwise, like, walls are gonna be just stupid. And what if it's like the other age games where you can just layer the walls? That seems like, oh
Yeah.
no, not again, please. Not that. It might be a bit too much on the turtle fantasy side for me. Like, RTS should be about taking action, in my opinion, not sitting on
Not
your ass and
torturing,
waiting
yeah.
for the other guy to kill you in 4 hours because you can generate infinite resources for free.
You can turtle.
Oh no, not that type of game, please. The concept of walls itself is so strong that it's just scary. Okay, let's go through it again in real time, see if we spot anything else. Probably not. The walls look like they belong better in Stronghold games. They play exactly this. Wooden walls, wooden walls. We can see wooden walls here. Alongside the stone walls. They must be a separate building.
Palisades.
Yes.
We got them.
Deer. You still have hunting. Yeah, I don't see no archers here. The sound effects are really nice. I couldn't see the projectiles for shit though. Let's go back here. I don't see what these traps are throwing.
Yeah, the rocks are really small.
They're either so tiny or just blend in.
They look like there's no model of them.
Yeah. Where's the arrows?
It's just like the little air bit Russian.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna 0.25 speed this. There's an arrow! It's so tiny! Oh my god. You gotta aggressively scale these up so that the player gets a sense of this is happening. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, you want ridiculously big rocks so you know when your
Yes.
tower's getting
So
hit by
there's
a
these
rock.
very subtle little tracer things
Yeah.
trying to signal that the arrows are happening. I'm not sure if you guys can see on the stream. Probably quality isn't high enough.
You can
But-
see. It looks like they've even like because you can see the like little rocks falling off behind them. Like
Yeah.
they've done everything for that animation except for the actual rock.
Yeah, it's just the scale of it. You
Yeah.
get this small line that's supposed to be an arrow, but there's no actual arrow. The arrow should be as big as an arm of a unit so that you can actually see. But if it's just a subtle little line, you're not gonna see. And yeah, I don't think we're gonna notice anything else here.
Invisible. Must be invisible.
Maybe that's an upgrade at the university. Invisible rocks.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything new. Hey, that's gotta be a university, right? I think it must be.
Looks like it could be, yeah.
There's so many buildings that I'm not able to identify though.
And there's like multiple
Like-
like there's 2 buildings that look like churches.
Yeah, that looks like a
Yeah.
church, like a cathedral. That's the church.
Yeah.
What's that in the background? And what's
That
that's
could
a
be.
castle.
That
That's
kind
fine.
of looks like a university as well, a little bit.
And what about this one?
I need to wait for your stream to see where you're pointing.
Yeah. And there's a building construction animation. Oh, this dude's flashing. Like sort of a snapshot of the people working at it. And it seems to be rising from the ground.
Oh yeah, I see. Nice.
That's
It's got a
cool.
weird like gold shimmer on it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
It's very okay. Now that's a great example of showing the player clearly from a distance what's happening. Like I can tell from here that that building is under construction. Great work. Something like that would need to happen to arrows. And yeah, these two models are definitely distinct, the cav units here.
Yeah.
The one on the right is just a general soldier. Are these heroes? Are there 2 hero units?
I think it's just one hero unit and a general.
Yeah, look, if from the angle, actually from the angle where you're looking up on the cliff, it looks like the one at the front we thought was a hero unit has a bow.
Yes, it did have
The
a
one
bow.
on the right doesn't have anything. He
Yeah,
reminds
so
me
what's
of
that?
the he reminds me of the Mongol priest from Empires Apart.
Maybe. It could be some support unit thing.
Yeah.
Actually, the 0.25 thing was a great idea to do. It's so much easier than pausing. Yeah, I can see the arrows like this, but only if they're fire arrows. If they're not fire arrows, I can't see it. The animations seem very straightforward. It's hard to say if it's gonna be microable. They're pretty quick, so hopefully. It's a very fancy explosion there. What exploded? Siege tower?
Hey, look, the sea tower's falling over, or some sort of.
Ah,
tower,
it's an
I think.
outpost. The outpost fell down, and
That's set on fire.
that's a lot of VFX.
Yeah,
Maybe
I feel like
too
that's gonna
much?
get toned down.
Yeah, like that might be performance heavy, just because of all the little bits and
Particles.
pieces. Okay, let's pay attention to the animations a little bit. They're not hitting. I've seen a few people not hit. Okay. There seems to be a huge break between attack and next attack. That's not good. So hard to focus on one unit. Just because the camera moves and strafes and... Yeah, dude. The units are stopping to attack after an attack. And they have this reactive animation, I want to say. Yeah, when they get hit, they like stutter and as if they were hurt, you know? They react to getting hurt, attacked. I don't know if I like that. As long as it's visual only, I guess. But if
It's like
it's
getting
affecting
stuck.
gameplay, if I hit your unit, I shouldn't have an advantage besides hurting your health. It's kind of bad if it also stops you from attacking.
Maybe it's just like a special attack or something.
No, it's just normal units, it looks like. The
Maybe it's
cav
like
doesn't
the
seem to
stun.
care.
So Chandler just mentioned something that I sort of there's a scene somewhere where you see the eagle. That's not one of the main scenes. I think it's when you like first look outside of the castle, and just the way it has like so much animation on it. It has like little like an animation of stuff coming behind its wings. It kind of looks like it makes me think of it as like a playable unit,
Oh, the
like a
eagle.
scouting owl sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't be bad. If it was like some expensive thing that you could get eventually. Would be nice for map vision. Yeah, I see what you mean. That looked quite in-game, right? But yeah, I think that's all we're gonna salvage from this trailer, so... Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't show much.
No. Age of Stronghold Settlers 4. Age of Empires Reforged. New Stronghold looks good. Age of Empires 2, 2. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Ultra Edition. 3D Edition.
50 years later.
Gameplay revealed, no actual gameplay shown. Oh.
I'm happy people actually at least
Total War Age of
realise that.
Empires.
I just also want to point out as well, just to toot my own horn, that I called the Age of Empires 2.2 thing as soon as it was announced.
Toot. Well, good job though.
It was all they were going to do because they had to be safe.
It's the safe.
Especially after Dawn of
Okay,
War
let's talk
3.
about that. Yeah, Dawn of War 3. They have to be safe, right? With Age of Empires as a whole, it's not. It's not related because Relic is Sega's baby, so this is about Microsoft's product, and Relic only wants to, at this point, work together with Microsoft, obviously, to achieve the best results in that deal that they made. So, Dawn of War 3 doesn't play a role here, besides people's expectations of what's going to happen, right? But what about the timeline? What do you guys think?
I think it's just like in terms of what I would have wanted. I don't really know. I didn't put much thought into it because I was so confident they would do this. Because it just seems like the safe way to go. Like picking any new timeline would be a risk. Personally, I think I would have liked. This is the thing I think about RTSs, right? I would like to see RTS the idea of timelines a bit more. Like with Empires Apart, there was so much where people were like, "Oh, we want Romans. That'll be really cool," but they're like, "No, they don't fit in our timeline."
Oh yeah.
I would like to see people be a bit more free by just being like, you know, it's sort of swords and shields, but without a timeline, so you can just have ancient Egyptians and Imperial British Empire sort of stuff.
Yeah, why not? As long as you don't mix like, I don't know, very late industrial age with Gatling guns.
As long as mechanically it works, and you don't have, Civ 5 style tanks rolling over spearmen and stuff.
Yeah, like you can probably stop at where Age of Empires 3 starts.
Yeah, totally. Just have all the timelines of 1, 2, and 3 in one game.
Yeah, that would have been nice. And it could have been more like Empire Earth, where you go through the entire ages from the start. I mean, obviously, don't start in the freaking Stone Age. Because then you've got like one.
I think that always sounded cool in theory, and then everyone just put the starting age up because no one wanted to play through that.
Yeah, it was very long.
Dark Age in AoE 2.
But yeah, you could do like a hybrid of start in the Age of Empires 1 era, so ancient times, and go through the Dark Ages into super early colonial. That would have been nice. And super early colonial times, you still see swords and shields and arrows and everything mixed in with the rifles. So like the rifles and the explosives and the artillery and the gunpowder artillery doesn't completely take over yet,
As long as it,
but it does like
like,
100 years later.
as long as it makes sense mechanically, I think it would be fine.
Yeah. All right, then. I think that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to find someone to host, and thanks you guys for joining today.
It was very fun.
All right, I'll see you guys later.